Hey guys, it is your Christian counselor, and today I want to discuss practical discernment. Okay, so God never called us to be people pleasers, He called us to walk in truth, love, and power. And for a long time, I confused validation with value. I used to struggle badly with people pleasing. I mean, my self esteem was so low that I accepted toxic behavior just to preserve unhealthy relationships. I thought these relationships made me valuable, that they validated me. So I got along to get along. So for me, it started in my childhood. So I was a class clown, right? So I enjoyed telling jokes. And when people laughed at me, I felt light. I felt accepted. And when I wasn't accepted or rejected, I took it personal, like any kid would do at that age. So it followed me into adulthood. I was non-confrontational. If I had something on my mind, I would keep it to myself. I didn't speak my true feelings. I was agreeable. Hence, this is how people pleasing develop. Here's the truth. People pleasers often place relationships above themselves because those relationships are tied to a false identity, the ego. And this will lead a people pleaser to be an easy target. Now, I would have called people who take advantage of a people pleaser a predator. But I know in today's culture, we like to use the word narcissist. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Clinically, narcissistic personality disorder is a real diagnosis, right? But that is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about symptoms of narcissistic tendencies. These are people who exploit, manipulate, and use others without remorse. Okay, so they may need constant admiration. They lack empathy for your feelings or your need. They have a sense of entitlement. Gaslighting and manipulation are their main tactics. They avoid accountability and always shift the blame so they become the victim. Whether or not someone has been diagnosed, narcissistic tendencies are toxic. And when you blend that with someone who's a people pleaser and only want to see the good in people, it makes for a dangerous combination. Okay, you will make excuses for them. Well, no one loved them. They had a rough childhood. I've been knowing them for 5, 10, 20 years. You are pulling and grasping at straws, even though this relationship is draining you. The more you give, the more a predator will take. You cannot love someone enough to make them change. You are enough without them. You don't need their validation. So there are 3 ways to protect yourself from predator behavior. I call it practical discernment. So let's start with standards. These are your expectations for all relationships. And if you think about yourself as a gift, you're not going to let everyone have access to you. If you see yourself the way that God sees you, you will protect your space a whole lot better. He says that you are chosen, that you are loved, that you are precious, fearless, courageous, beautiful, and that's just to name a few. Standards are your first defense. And when we lay those down, we let anyone in. Okay? So what do standards sound like? I don't tolerate disrespect. You must be kind to be in my circle. I expect honesty, reciprocity, and integrity. So they filter out people who were never meant to sit at your table. Next, boundaries. Now, the reason why boundaries are your second line of defense is because someone with narcissistic tendencies or wolf in sheep clothing, they're going to get past your standards. They can show up looking like the answer to a prayer. They're going to listen intensively at what you're saying. They may even watch you from afar so they can present themselves as such. But what's going to differentiate them from a genuine person is that they're not going to be able to respect your no. A genuine person will respect your no. Those are your boundaries. A narcissistic person or a person with narcissistic tendencies will not respect your no. And what do your boundaries sound like? No, I can't let you use my information for a loan. No, I don't want to move in before we get married. No, I can't go out with you tonight because I have prior commitments. The thing about people who want control, they want access to you. They want to exploit you. They want to get most out of you without giving anything in return. And when we put their will before God's will, we are operating in idolatry. And God says, no one or nothing should come before me. Boundaries require a healthy sense of self. Yes, speaking up may cost you that relationship, but having peace is more important than keeping everyone happy. And lastly, self-advocacy. This is speaking up and standing firm. This is saying I will not tolerate disrespect, bullying, manipulation, or gaslighting. Confrontation is not easy, especially if you have a low tolerance for arguing. It is very draining, okay? But as long as we do it in the way that God said we should, we are operating in His will. In Ephesians 4:15, He said we should always speak the truth in love. That's gentleness and respect. So again, here are the 3 practical ways to discern those with narcissistic tendencies, predatory behavior, and wolves in sheep clothing. 1, know your standards. 2, stick to your boundaries. And 3, always self-advocate. You don't need anyone to like, accept, or validate you. Your worth is found in Christ. And if you walk in that truth, no one can devour you. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? Until next time. Bye-bye.